All right. Hopefully this one works. I just recorded a whole video about this video, and OBS just never appeared on my drive. So if I sound a little annoyed going through this um, all over again, it was like a 20-minute video. I got to do it again. Um, anyway, service to self. Um, okay. In certain stages of newly developing consciousness, in order to promote the forward growth of the individual soul spirit throughout many dimensionalized identities, the service to self or negative polarization is necessary and a natural part of the mechanics of creation when seeding a new race consciousness. Okay, and then it says see root races. I haven't read that page. You know, I don't know what it's about. But if there's anything that I get from that first paragraph, it's like uh, when a species is created, or like the species that are created, they have like a biological phase where they just all they do is service to themselves and their DNA and like promoting that DNA and uh, it's all service to self. It has to act in a way that it simply acts to protect itself in environment, right? Um, at the development stage of the first three layers of the mind, the three layers of the ego, a third dimensional human being is purely service to self. The third chakra or solar plexus is the conscious mind matrix to which the spiritual being may learn how to manifest via the projection of lower thought substance in order to navigate into the material realms. This results in developing consciousness to learn how to individualize through the ego personality, to manifest individual experiences and experience a spectrum of emotional sensory states. Many lower vibrations of spectrum of frequency that may include mental thoughts of anger or fear may be helpful states in spiritual progression and consciousness development throughout the many life stream experiences. Okay. Uh, from what I understand from this, it's like going back to the first paragraph or the first bit there. Um, in when a species is in that service to self mode due to not having like higher mental states, like anger and fear, a lot of people like preach against it, but and say anger and fear is not good, but it is the case that anger and fear is necessary for the development of species. We need anger to like express when some like we know something is evil. We have to stand up and be angry that injustice is happening. Right, when a species gets to a point where they no longer need anger because people are doing what's right, then that whole realm of expression like falls away from us naturally. Same thing with fear. We're living through times right now where people have to live in fear in order to survive. And it's just part of, like it says, it's part of spiritual progression. It's part of consciousness development. It's part of like realizing who we are in terms of what we are in the world, and um, going like having the ability to go beyond that because now we have a greater understanding of what and who we are and what the world is, and so on. um, Man, the first video I had, I went through this much better. um, hmm. Okay, to continue. However, what has happened on planet Earth during the last cycle is not merely a service to self, negative polarization of free will and chosen states of consciousness of the soul. Through negative alien invasion of the planet Earth, through the genetic alteration of human and planetary DNA, Installation of alien machinery to install frequency fences and net, and the NAA to implant humanity with mind control alien implants is a bio warfare strategy to control the planet, humanity, and the soul through direct holographic inserts which alter, modify, or damage DNA. So I don't. I think I talked in the intro about how she goes into like aliens and stuff. Like I really don't know anything about this. I have no empirical evidence to think that it's really a reality. But I also think whether or not it's true, it mirrors something that exists in the world today. So it's talking about how not only do we have like people that exist with a certain nescience about like who and what they are, so they act in service to self mode. Um, we also have people that are um, like it's like premeditated self to service. It's not a self of service from a base level to a more spiritually aware level. It's a spiritually aware level of like working. It's like a spiritual level of service to self. It's like a deceptive. It no longer has nescience. It no longer is like this innocent, natural developmental stage of like learning how to not be of service to self. It is like directly using um using people, using what's available to them to promote service to self on purpose. And that just the difference between um, it's saying that's what it's saying. It's like we're not only dealing with that; we're dealing with people, or it says negative aliens, right? It's like whether or not aliens are real. It's like we know that people exist right now that will um, try to use mind control or use tactics or strategies to undermine other people and exploit them. All right. What has occurred to humanity is not a simple result of choices made to service to self. The NAA objective is intended annihilation of the human species' original DNA and obliteration from existence by erasing the historical record from this universe. Okay. Now, that's why I try not to get into this alien stuff because, like, again, I have no evidence for it, and it's kind of like it's scary. Like, this is talking about how, I mean, this is like beyond our comprehension, beyond our ability to express the reality of that, if it is reality, with any evidence. Okay, um, so I think it's something to consider, like being like human beings or any species being annihilated, on purpose through some kind of premeditated method. I think that, I don't know. To me, that's interesting. Um, all right, because consumerism and materialistic value system. As a collective society, we have been fed disinformation and conditioned towards believing in these mass deceptions and lies about the absolute nature of 3D material reality as the only reality that matters in existence. Um, with a material and consumer oriented reality based upon accumulation, people tend to default into service of self behaviors and death culture vibrations. As individuals, we also have been predominantly conditioned by the cultural environment to respond to others around us with misleading information and dishonesty in order to achieve personal goals or desires that are based solely on this consumer material value system. In the service of self value system, the socially engineered death culture rewards those who act as the impersonators, essentially as a predatory liars and bad actors, people that intentionally deceive others that are more vulnerable for their own strategic advantage. In the current reality, if a human reinforces the controller gender and plays service to self games, is a predatory liar and disinformation agent to gain advantage over others, he or she will be greatly rewarded on the material plane. The only way to stop rewarding liars in one's life is to see them in action and commit to banishing the lies, possibly confronting or evicting people and dark entities that continue to spread lies and disinformation in order to serve themselves. Most people are conditioned to lie without comprehending the impact and the result of the energetic vibration of lies and deception will generate in their lives. They do not want to see how the vibration of dishonesty ripples outward to impact many others, such as influencing the lives of their loved ones. While there are many reasons for lying, most people lie for their own personal advantage, to gain financial or economic benefit, to escape and avoid confrontations with other people, and to cover up mistakes that hide unflattering information. Yet most people want to believe they are generally honest and truthful, and may place limits around how much they are willing to lie to others in a range of different social circumstances. The more lies we are willing to tell others, the more we are lying to ourselves, until lying becomes natural and compulsive to the level there is no longer any emotional discomfort experienced when we are fully aware of and engaging in deceiving others. When the masses are spoon fed deceptions and falsehoods by the power elite who have collected the wealth, celebrity, fame, or status, the bigger lies spread can be made easier to swallow. The manufactured propaganda and celebrity are continually promoted in this way in order to reaffirm our false beliefs about the 3D reality. The mind control conditioning is designed in such a way that if people are exposed to a factual and truthful representation, but it does not fit into their belief system or worldview, the majority of the time they will completely ignore the information. They are mind control implants that work as mind slides, so the mind slides off of the unapproved topic and just ignores the information as if it was never communicated, and then moves mental focus onto something else very quickly. Further, some people will tend to ridicule the information and even attack the messenger if it's being perceived as threatening to their ego personality's belief system. We cannot ignore the pile of lies upon lies around us anymore. Collectively, there's a radical push piercing the veil through the astral walls of black magic that had been filled with spells of deception. As we banish lies from our lives, we shatter the prettily packaged illusions, and the content rises up to the surface consciousness where we can finally see the larger pieces of truth. We stop participating in the rewarding of liars and punishing of people that are actually being honest. The truth of disclosure lives inside all of us now, and it is what you can finally perceive as the nature of reality that is actually the honest truth. Okay. Uh, so this is just going into like different methods. It's going into conspiratorial information. And at the end there, it's kind of like a call for hope, in that people are starting to realize and discern what lies are being given to, large groups of people. Um, Most people, I just want to. I said some stuff in the last recording, and I want to make sure to get them in here because I thought they were good points when I was saying them, but I just can't remember them. Um, hmm, hmm, hmm. I can't really think. Hmm. I feel like I'm missing something here. It's such a shame. Hmm. Yeah, I shouldn't dilly dally. Um, Maybe I don't have anything right now about it. It just goes into yeah, methods of control in order to you know be more successful at a service to self game. Lack of empathy. Altruism or humanitarianism is the behavior of service to others that has a capacity to feel empathy and compassion for others and is aimed at benefiting another person, group, or the planet. Egotism is a behavior that is acted out of personal gain or service to self. As the destructive habits of the negative ego form into entrained brain patterns of narcissism, then potentially psychopathy, the person digresses into primal behavior, which has no experience of higher emotional states, along with a lack of empathy and a lack of remorse. Um, it's as if like the more service to self, you know, it just gets bigger and bigger. It snowballs into, um, first you're doing like little things that are service to self to help you, and then you start seeing, well, I could serve myself in better ways if I make people serve me, that kind of thing. Hmm. I'll just continue on. Egotism evolves into pathological minds. The conceit of egotism describes a person who acts to gain value for self-serving motivation and taking in an excessive amount of resources than that which he or she gives back to others. Usually, these are actions of taking in others' energy, time, and resources, and is accompanied with very low ethical standards and displaying low moral character traits. This is also called consumptive modeling or energetic vampirism. Egotism may be fulfilled by exploiting the sympathy, trauma, emotion, or ignorance of others, as well as utilizing coercive force, deception, manipulation, mind control, and fraud. The egotist has an overwhelming sense of the centrality of me operating in the personal qualities and personal identity. This is a person who cannot be trusted as they will always manipulate the circumstances to service to self as their primary or only concern. Without developing self awareness and ego discipline, the untamed negative ego is exploited by mind control and further develops into serious spiritual pathologies which lead to narcissism and psychopathy. Um, Orion's predator mind. Imposter spirit is the Luciferian or satanic spirit which promotes false light authority and anti-life architecture through deception, lies of omission, manipulation with malice to promote intentional harm or death or destruction to serve its selfish personal agenda. These anti-life belief systems are the basis which forms the negative ego and was manifested out of the predator mind of the Orion group. They have no feeling, body, and thus have no empathy. Okay, there's a few things that I wanted to talk about this. Actually, I'm starting to remember a little bit. Right. Let me see. This is the next one I'm going to talk about. Okay. Um, so something I had mentioned in the previous recording of this specific topic was like Mark Passio and his ideas about something called epigenetics. And, it's like eugenics, but so like eugenics would be like people trying to breed certain people in order to have certain characteristics expressed through their progeny. And it's like epigenetics is like the same thing, but it's done through media. Let's see. I think that's part of the reason why I think this kind of topic is interesting because it's like people have the ability to like convince and program others to have a certain worldview that like it's ultimately like exclusionary to the point where people are like having relationships and breeding with each other based on like materialistic and consumeristic values. Um, uh, just something that's always interested me. And I think that this is like you could see how this topic and that kind of notion coincide with each other. Um, as far as the imposter and like a lot of this, see like Luciferian and satanic spirit stuff, right? So it has like a lot of this stuff has like Christian terminology, which I think is very interesting. And the last video or the last recording of this topic that I lost, I was talking about like Luciferian satanic spirits or like spirits in general. I brought up like the Holy Spirit, right? It's like imagine like the Holy Spirit is like a realm. It's like everything in everywhere where the Holy Spirit exists. It's like everything that's discernible and comprehensible about the circumstance in which it exists. It is as if everything is completely right. Like it is the divine will being manifested, right? um and then so like you could think of the same thing with Luciferian satanic spirits. Like it is its own individual realm that can like try to like infect or get into other realms. Another way to put it is there's like I think it's Beelzebub. Like it coincides well with like I guess Jewish and Christian like demonology, where it's like something like Beelzebub. I think he's like the Lord of the Flies or something, right? So it's like there are these realms of like hell, or like demonic realms, where it's like they can take place in manifestation where and you could like pinpoint what like demonic realm this certain a discernible reality is actually like taking place in. um hmm, I think maybe that's it. I really wish you got to see the. If you watched all this, I really wish you got to see the previous recording, because I lost a lot of having to do this a second time. Really made me lose a lot of um, the enthusiasm to get through the material. Unfortunately, it's due to me being frustrated with OBS not, like allowing me to have my first recording. So, hmm, I think that's it for this one. Service to self. That's what service to self is um, all about. I'm sure there's more to it, but I think this page does a good job talking about service to self. And thank you for watching, and I guess we're going to go through more of this. Have a good day.